If you really want to manifest anything you want into your existence, you need to realize that the heart and the mind need to be balanced. A lot of people don't balance the heart and the mind, and it actually stops them from manifesting what it is that they want, because you need to have a balance of the heart and the mind to manifest anything you want into your existence. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to balance the heart and the mind to be able to manifest anything you want into your existence, and what that all means and how it all comes together. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one to let go of your ego, let go of the anxiety, let go of the fear, let go of the worry, so you can live into your highest vision, step up into your life purpose and what it is that you're really meant to be doing on this planet at this time, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. So you have to understand that the heart and the mind need to be balanced if you want to manifest something into your existence. It's the truth, and they need to be balanced. And a lot of people have either too much mind or they have too much heart. They either have too much mind or they have too much heart. You need to have both. You see, it's not about neglecting the heart, and it's not about neglecting the mind either. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to get to what these things actually mean, because some people don't even know what the heart is and what that actually means and how that reconnects with the mind, and how to keep these things both in alignment to manifest what you want. So I'm going to share with you what those things actually are in just a little bit, but you got to realize that some people neglect either the mind or the heart. They either have too much intention, too much masculinity, or they have too much femininity, too much trust in the universe, not enough systems and structures in place to be able to manifest what you want in a systematic way. So you need to have both. You need to have the heart, you need to trust yourself, you gotta trust your higher self, you gotta trust in who you really are, and at the same time, you still want to use the mind as well. So the first thing I want to share with you when it comes to how to balance the heart and the mind to manifest anything is, first you got to understand that most people have too much mind. Too much mind. So most people on planet Earth have too much mind. Only a lot of spiritual people have too much heart. They have too much heart. They're too connected to who they are. They're so connected to who they are that they can't bring the mind back into play to be able to manifest what they want. Now, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing good or bad about either perspective, but too many people on this planet have too much mind. So what does this mean? This means too much ego, too much thinking, too much analyzing, too many systems, too many structures, too much logic. Now, I'm not saying logic is a bad thing. I'm saying that you need to use logic in the way that it's meant to be used, which is you can actually use your logical mind versus your logical mind using you and creating fear. That's what happens in most people's reality. Fear is controlling them. And that's when you have too much mind. When fear is controlling your reality, fear of opinions, fear of people, fear of communication, fear of connection, fear of not having finances, fear of intimacy. When fear is controlling your life, that's when you have too much mind. That's when you have too much logic. When you have too much logic, you're very limited in life, because you need that feminine, nurturing, trusting energy. Even if you're a man, even if you think you're the most masculine man that exists and you love to play that identity, well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's okay to have a little bit of feminine energy as well. In fact, you need that energy. You need a little bit of feminine. You need to bring your heart into something, because people can feel that. When your heart is really in something, people can feel that. And then guess what? When you bring the mind back with the heart, people will feel that. And also you're going to manifest much faster, because that's really the key to manifesting, is aligning the mind with the heart. When you align the mind, when you have affirmations, when you have visualizations, when you start thinking about your manifestations, and then you align that with the heart, what happens is that you begin to manifest at an accelerated rate. If you have a business, watch what happens to your business when you align with your heart. My business exploded when I align with my heart, because I truly care about my clients. I truly care about my audience. I truly care about everything that I'm creating in my life. But if it's just all at the mind level, then people feel that. Okay, the universe feels that too, so to speak. The universe can feel when you're too aligned with logic and not with the heart, and you'll be punished for that, which is not a punishment, it's just too much mind. It's an imbalance of the yin and the yang. So in order to contrast this too much mind that most people have, you got to realize that the next step is to align with your heart. And how do you do this? How do you bring your heart into something? Well, your heart is when you're deeply connected to your intuition, and that's what brings a stronger heart into play. When you're connected to your intuition, when you're having a deeper connection to the present moment, when you're really connected to who you are at a deeper level, when you're in alignment with that, when you're in alignment with your true purpose, with your true soul's purpose, what your soul, so to speak, really wants to experience, and you're following that intuition, that feeling, those gut feelings you have, and then you also align that with the mind, well then guess what happens? You then manifest faster. People feel that high vibration energy off of you, and things become much more powerful and much easier to manifest. But the key is to bring the heart with the mind, because you can also be too intuitive, too much trust, too much surrender, too much trusting my feelings. Sometimes you don't trust your feelings. You need to use your mind. Sometimes survival's at play here, right? You got to take action. You got to take action. See, under no circumstances you shouldn't be taking action. That's more masculine. Sometimes the circumstances don't matter. Trust in your intuition. Trust. Now, when you balance these two things together, what happens is that you begin to actually manifest in a much faster way. Now, how do you bring the heart into the mind? How do you do this? What's the process, Francis? How do I bring the heart into the mind? It all sounds so beautiful. It sounds so airy-fairy. How can we make this tangible? How can we make this practical? How can I incorporate this heart that you're speaking of into my life with whatever it is that I'm doing? Because Francis, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel a lot of heaviness in my experience, and I don't really know what you're talking about. I don't know. I get what you're saying. I feel the fears. I feel the worries. And I don't know how to bring my heart into something. My fears are controlling me too much. There's too many fears. There's too many worries. And I don't know what you're saying, Francis. How can I bring the heart into this? Because I see what you're saying. You're pulling me into this frame. I get it, but how do I do it? You got to realize that those heavy feelings are just a lack of consciousness and a lack of connection to who you are. So what you have to really do to bring your heart back with the mind is raise your level of vibration, raise your consciousness, and prioritize the connection that you have with the present moment and your higher self. Because when you connect back with your higher self, with the true intelligence that is within you beyond this human form, when you really connect with who you actually are, what happens is that you're aligned with your heart again. You're aligned with what your soul wants to create, so to speak. You're aligned with that feeling that comes from that deep connection with the present moment. That's what you want to be aligned with. That's heart. That's feeling into your manifestations. Had an insight the other day. I wrote on my whiteboard, on my vision board, to feel into my manifestations. And I love that. I actually use that because what I noticed is that to record a very powerful video, to have a powerful coaching session, I need to feel into it. It's so hard to explain, but I have this technique that you can try to manifest faster. Feel into the manifestation. Okay, it's not about the thought. The thoughts are working, that you need the thoughts. You need to visualize the department, visualize that whatever it is that you want, but you have to feel into it. Now, how do you connect deeper with the feeling, with your heart? That would be where the present moment comes into play. Cannot be done without the present moment. You need that connection to the present moment. And you need to raise your vibration and raise your consciousness, and then also don't get too lost in that. Balance that with the mind. Now here's what I want to share with you as well. When your mind is in alignment with your heart, the mind works better. So To really tap into your intuition is to balance your heart and your mind to such a degree that you now receive higher quality, higher intelligence thoughts, because they're coming from a higher level of energy. Because when you're at a lack vibration, you have doubts, you have fears, you project your fears onto the world. You think about why things are impossible. You think about why you can't accomplish that thing. You think about why you can't do this, why you can't do that, why this is impossible. But it's because you're filtering reality. Your mind is filtering through a lack of heart. When you bring the heart back into play, guess what? The mind now works better. You're thinking, oh, I actually can do this. I can become a successful YouTuber. I can become a coach. When my mind started telling me thoughts of drop out of school, drop out of this thing, it was coming from an alignment with my heart. I felt it in my being. Okay, a lot of you have this intuition that's coming through when you have that connection to the moment, because your mind works better when you're at a high energy. So trust in that thought. Trust only in the thoughts that come from a high energy. Now what happens? Then the fear comes back in afterwards and tries to tell you why that wasn't true. That's then the ego coming in after you had that intuitive thought. When you bring the heart into play, then the mind works better. So when you raise your vibration, still use the mind. And I still need to use my mind. I still need to plan for trips. I still need to plan, schedule calls with clients. I still need to, have systems in place to create my life. I record a daily video. I have systems, I have structures. When I record this video, I have 3 points, a couple points that I share in the video. That's my structure. But then the rest of it, it's a total flow and letting the heart take over. Letting your true higher self take over. That's the heart. That's when you're resonating with this content, that's your heart. That's you connecting with what I'm sharing at an emotional level, at the heart level, at the spiritual level. It's not just the mind level. I'm not just giving you content in this video. Content is great. I'm giving you amazing content, but it's not just the stuff that I'm saying. It's the feeling you have in your heart when you listen to me speak that's guiding you on your path. That's what you're really resonating with. You're resonating with the heart connection. And that's what I do. That's why you're here, to follow your heart, but then still balance the mind with that. Do not neglect the mind, okay? But follow your heart as well. Follow your heart, follow the intuition, but also still use the mind. It's okay to use the mind, but use the mind only when it's balanced with the heart. How do I know if my mind is balanced with the heart, Francis? I still don't get it. When you have a deep connection to the present moment and you're aligned with your higher self. How do you know when you're aligned with your higher self? When you have a deep connection to the present moment. How do you know when you're connected to who you are? When you have a deep connection to the present moment. How do I know when I'm following my highest vision? When you have a deep connection to the present moment. It all comes down to being aligned with that inner stillness that you really are, and then taking inspired actions from that space. And the more that you align with that present moment, the masculine and the feminine balance out naturally, and the yin and the yang of life collapse into one. You connect with oneness. You're aligned with the oneness of who you are. There's no more separation. Now the paradox is that you're still a human being, you still have survival needs, you still have to pay the bills, but now you're aligned with higher intelligence, and the masculine and the feminine, the intention and the surrender, the heart and the mind are at a perfect unification where life becomes effortless. Life really can be so much easier when you balance the heart and the mind. You see, I work pretty hard. I record daily videos. I have a lot of clients. I work with a lot of people. I put in a lot of work, but I'm going to be really honest with you. When you learn to balance your heart with your work, it doesn't feel like work, and life could actually be easy. Life can be easy. Life can be so much easier than we make it out to be, but only when you're aligned with your true self. And that's when your life can become a lot easier, because your heart and your mind are balanced. So that's all I have for this video. If you like this content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one to let go of your ego, let go of the anxiety, balance your heart and your mind with your purpose, create the life that you really want, that your soul really wants to create, something that you feel called to do, really step up into that vision, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.